Can I get that coffee? Oh, the best sound ever. Yeah? Ready? Hey guys, here we are. It's 4:11, not 4 o'clock, but it's raining outside, and we did want everybody here to reach and then start the class, but we've been here on time, ready and waiting, because I'm super excited about this. If you remember, when Anand had come in last time to discuss his book, he had said that, when we had suggested a master class, and he said yes, he would love to do it. So we've caught him at it. We are not going to let him go. And we said, here we are, ready to do master class. But it's the thing that I want to tell you is it's not going to be one master class. What we're going to do is we're going to do a series of master classes, right?
Yeah.
See, on camera, he has said yes to it.
Last time also you trapped me like this.
Last time also we said on camera, we had got him and we have replayed that for him and he has to do it. So what we're going to do is, because writing, it's not a subject we can do in just this tiny amount of time. So we're going to start here today, start with the basic of it, get an overview of it, and then start with the first bit of it, like the beginning of the idea. That's where we start from. The writing starts from the idea. How do you get the idea? That's where we start from. And see how many more, the plots, the screenplays, the chapters, etc., characterization. There's so many factors to it, and we'll do all of those in a series of these master classes. As we keep getting time from Mr. Neelakantan, we'll keep going ahead and doing those. So today we start with the overview and the first idea.
Yeah.
Mr. Anand, all yours.
See, let it not be. Thank you. Thanks for coming here, and those who are watching in Facebook, I hope we will add some value to it. I don't know this name Masterclass. I don't know whether it is. I am meant to be called a master or not.
Anybody that you learn from is your master.
Okay.
Am I right, guys?
Because the master, the first thing what you get is when you call somebody master is what you call in the school master. That's what.
Basically, it means guru.
Yeah, guru sounds better
so, yeah.
actually. Fine. Where do you get ideas from? First to write. Before that, first we should ask why we should write.
Yeah, why should we write?
Should we write?
We write so that we have more books to read.
Why we should read books? I will go from that.
We know why he should write, because we love reading what he writes. So you should definitely write. But yes, why should we read books? Because it transports us into different worlds, and it's beautiful. I mean, for me, as a child, that was the best thing, that I could just go into this world, make it my own, live it without actually having to go there. I mean, I probably sat on my first flight, plane was when I started working. But in the books, I had sat on a plane, I had gone to these various places all around the world so many times that when I actually went there, it was not so different. It was just so exciting to actually see the visuals to what were words earlier. And you got to actually live and explore the world through the books. That was my fascination.
See, books are a kind of storytelling. Storytelling is one of the most important things. Story can be told in various ways.
Absolutely.
Stories have been told mainly as poetry. All throughout the time, poetry came first, because singing stories were the bards used to sing the stories. Then came puppetry, came drama, came writing as such, maybe having 2,500 years. This thing only, in which itself novel as a format might be maximum, even though they talk about the first Chinese novel or Japanese novel 1,000 years back, maximum 300 to 400 years it will be old, and last it is around 250 years old as a novel as a format, or a story as a format. But why books? There are so many. Now we are in a time where there are so many methods of storytelling. You can even through WhatsApp. That's I think maximum number of people are reading stories in WhatsApp. We cannot stop it.
Really, really short stories.
Even now in WhatsApp people are checking the stories. So it is a form of storytelling. But only difference, why books? Books are it's a time transport. It's like a time machine.
Absolutely.
Now even after say 4,000 years, Valmiki is still talking to us, or Vyasa is talking to us. So it is like you are getting transported to a different world as such, imaginary world. You are hearing them speak. This, because book is something is like a recording device with a long, what do you call, long lifespan for it. Its books are forever. And taking from James Bond's diamonds are forever, but books are better than diamonds if you ask me.
I agree.
Why? Because recently also this Bahubali series, when I was doing this for this Rise of Shivagami, one of the biggest advantage, I told this to, when we were discussing, I told Rajamouli sir also this, which he agreed. There is no budget for the books. A big film, the biggest film in the country like Bahubali, even that has a budget, maybe 500 crores, or the next film which is coming could be 1000 crores. But in your imagination, I can just write 1 lakh people came and fought. If a director has to make it, or your producer like, now Goldie has to make that, where will you bring 1 lakh people from? What will be the budget? So here it is your imagination. So as a writer, what you do is you fire the imagination of the reader. So the reader needs more imagination than the writer.
Absolutely.
It's actually a game between the reader and the writer. Writer is telling, writer is whispering. It could be through over the ages, over the centuries. He is whispering something and he is holding your hand and taking him. A good writer should do that. He should be able to take you to some other world. It could be here itself, but it is like you are getting disconnected from reality and this becomes a new reality for you, whatever is there in the book. Now that is just an introduction. I don't want to bore you about the theory of book and other things. Let us go to the, hardly we have 15-20 minutes. Where do you get the ideas from?
I think what I would say is that what you said about books is no doubt. That's the reason we started a book club where you can, the point is that you get transported to this other world. You can, actually, like you said, the visual effects and what the visual that you can imagine. Like as a reader, I love the fact that I can put a certain visual to it, which may differ from the visual that you have. You'll have a certain guideline to it, but that's the beauty of actually reading and not being given a visual. So a lot of people like the visuals, but so storytelling in as such is a beautiful form, no doubt about it. We prefer it through the books.
Correct.
And that's where we are going from. But now as we go ahead, and lot of people who read a lot want to be writers and who want to say that, okay, I would love to be a writer. Not necessarily that we can all be writers, but we do try. And where do we start from? Would be the question. What is the beginning?
See, usually you read, I am telling it from experience. When many of the books, many people buy the how to write books. How to write books are usually written by, mostly by people, except Stephen King and are all exception, usually by many people who have never written a book.
Really? How many people here have read how to write a book?
Lot of them are pure theory, that way the books doesn't happen. And how does it happen?
A book on how to write.
A lot of them are there. I have, after becoming an author, after publishing maybe perhaps second book, I started reading all these things and I find that had I read all these things, I would not never become a writer. So, they make it sound so difficult. It is nothing, it is not such a difficult process. It is like any other art. But one caveat let me take here. You are an actor. How many times you would have practiced, rehearsed before doing something?
But it takes courage to step out and to say that, yeah, I own it, this is what it is. So even if it is, you might have ideas, you might be writing it down in a diary every day, but do I put it out in the world? Can I let others see it? And they're going to judge me for it. So that's always a thing. I mean, it's like when you play a role also, you're going to be judged for it. So you have to be open to that. Are you going to be scared of the fact that you're going to be judged and never do it? Or are you the risk taker who will say that, no, it's what I want to do. So what if I'm judged for it? I'll learn from it and move on.
So this is, that is, as you rightly said, one of the basic thing is whatever topic you write, there is going to be you in it. You cannot escape that. You are going to expose yourself to the world. And you are going to be vulnerable, and any writer, whatever, even Tagore couldn't accept criticism. Forget smaller writers like us. So anybody, you have to develop a thick skin. So these are the facts. But let me come back to the first question itself, because we have got limited time. Where do you get ideas from?
Yeah. So idea, the basic of any story, of any book that you start with, idea.
What happens? No. There are stories all around us. There are so many stories that there are not enough writers to write that. Every moment a story is happening. Everyone is a hero, if you really see that. Only thing what we lack is, a writer has to have an observation power. I am not saying he should be Sherlock Holmes, but he should have observation power. 2, he should have imagination, in which both this can be developed. I am not saying it is all, even language skill can be developed. It is like you need some talent. Like it is like music, if you have a talent in music, musician, if you especially classical musician, they take 15 years, 16 years to come to give the first performance. But just because we are literate, we think that we can immediately write a story, give it, publish it and make it a hit. It doesn't happen like that. It's like any other profession.
Yeah.
So that is one. So this has to be a conscious effort has to be taken to develop your imagination and develop, catch the ideas. Now, where do you catch the ideas from? One thing, easiest way, if you ask me, is to take an existing story, which is what I did. I took Ramayana and Mahabharata, the existing story you take.
Yeah.
I am a lazy person, so I went for the easiest thing to do.
Was that easy? My God.
No.
Okay, if you say so.
See, another method, what many people do, it's a very risky method. They try to write their own story. Your own story will be interesting to you. You have to think whether it is interesting to others.
So what you did was you took Ramayana and you turned it on its head. That was
And put myself into that.
Okay.
It is my own story, but it's Ramayana.
Can you give us
I am Ravan in Asura, I am Bhadra in Asura. Both I am.
Okay.
So it is through my eyes I am seeing it. So when I write, you become the character. It's like a play acting, like an actor, what you do.
You feel all that. Maybe that's why we felt it so much.
But if I write, had I written my story that I grew up in such and such place, after some time it will become autobiography of a boring Indian. Nothing else it would be. So it is like one of the mistakes which many authors try to do is some have become successful, but the problem is you can write only one kind of genre. You cannot write, you cannot bring a bigger canvas. Otherwise, you should be as talented as Arundhati Roy. She is almost, she has written an autobiographical thing, almost autobiographical. There is no pure autobiography in novels, so almost autobiographical thing. But you can see how it becomes difficult when the next book comes. They say everybody has one book in them, their own story. Only thing is that you should take the, what happened?
That's so dangerous. Is that what it is? Is that why I'm still stuck on that one book? Okay.
No, one book, the second book, bringing the second book, it requires what you call certain practices which you will have to do. I am not saying techniques, practices you have to do. Now take the story, familiar story, easiest method I am telling first. Take an easier story. Yesterday we were discussing just how will we make a new story from, just like that I am taking, from Sholay.
That was interesting, yeah.
It could be anything. Now you turn Gabbar Singh as the, like what I do usually in my books. I take Gabbar Singh as a hero and Thakur is a very corrupt cop and he deserved his arms to be chopped off. That's one way of writing.
Yeah.
Now you twist it. That is one twist. One twist, what you do, you can do same thing. You can take the same setting if it is a familiar story like what I did for Asura and Ajaya, or you change the people's name, story itself. But once you change the perspective, the entire story changes. Yeah. Just imagine how the Sholay will change. If you really see, hardly there are 3 or 4 types of stories in the world. All are the hashes of it, mixing of it. If you really see that.
Absolutely.
There are hardly any new stories which people are telling. It's how you tell the story which is important. Now another wild imagination was working. That is what you have to imagine wildly which character you can take. Okay, that is one obvious example, Gabbar Singh. I was even telling why not the horse of Hema Malini. Now this is only a side setting. Sholay is a side story. Actual hero is the horse, and that horse is in love in Mayor of this thing, Gabbar Singh's horse. Now you have a Romeo Juliet among horse. The entire setting you have changed. It become a comical. It can become a farce. It can become a thriller. It can, depending on how you are writing. which genre that you have to think. Story is the same. Romeo Juliet can be written as a farce. It can be a Disney story also. It could be a very sarcastic satire. You can make it as a commentary on
like
Animal Farm kind of thing. So it depends, that you will have to choose which you are comfortable with. But story idea.
When you say it, it makes me laugh. But after you say that, yes, you could turn it into so many things.
It could be anything. I am telling a very wild example. I am not telling go home and write this. I am telling how to take one character and twist it. Second thing is listen for dialogues. Where do you get dialogues from?
What do you mean listen for dialogue?
Now,
They're written by people, right?
No. Dialogues are just you pick it from even when I write screenplay, I pick the dialogue from what you hear on the road.
Oh. Okay.
Now you just listen. Say my wife was bargaining with the vegetable vendor. So the vegetable vendor, the bargaining, you just change, you catch a snippet. Suddenly you change the people in your mind. Change the character in your mind. It could be a deal between two drug dealers. Suddenly you get narcos. Just how to...
Does your wife know that...
no, I hope she is not... I hope she is not watching this.
I'll make sure that I send a clip to her.
So it could be suddenly, see, it's a very mundane dialogue. She says, the other guy says, no, I cannot make it lesser than this. She is asking, why you cannot? You are making a lot of profit. It's just a very mundane dialogue in your life.
I have noticed this. In your writings, even if the characters are like mythological heroes and all, they're having an everyday conversation,
Absolutely.
like us.
Because I pick it from everyday conversation. That's why.
And that makes it easier to connect with them on everyday level. Like, okay, that guy is not that bad, maybe. He's just a perspective of, that makes it interesting. So, yeah, that's one takeaway.
So, from dialogues, the story will start. The story, you get a dialogue, you catch a dialogue.
And you get an idea from there.
You get an idea from there. I have written so many ideas with me that I don't think in a lifetime I can write all these things. But I keep...
we should get some. So the first one was you use an existing story and
twist it.
That's one way. Other thing is pick up a dialogue somewhere and kind of, imagine it in another setting and again you have an idea. Great.
You get not only in dialogue, now change, that is about dialogue I am telling. Then third is newspaper headline. Newspaper headline gives you
one story.
Not one story, hundreds of stories. Each headline can spin so many number of stories.
Can you give us an example?
Just now, get me a newspaper. Presidential election could be, now you get presidential election, you have written that. Now one candidate they have chosen, and just throwing it from there once you are telling it. There is some candidate they have announced. Now imagine from here what all you can spin. You want to have a thriller. You decide what you want to have a thriller.
Say it is a thriller. What happens with this presidential election if it's a thriller?
It should not get me arrested.
No, come on.
It's just an exercise. See, if it is a thriller, there could be many ways we can do this. One, I am just trying to think. Suddenly you have thrown me something. What I could, what you could. One thing could be, this guy is a front. There is there is a threat to the next president. So they are getting a scapegoat. But this person who is getting, this has nothing to do with the present day. I am telling it as a story. Don't get me arrested for that. Hypothetical guy. Say in one country, need not be India, one country, you are getting a scapegoat as the president, next president, because it is for sure that this guy is going to be killed. Okay. Somebody is putting him as a friend, and the guy who is coming in, he decides to. Once he gets it, he decides that they think he is an underdog and he can be killed. He's a fool. But from there he fights back. It becomes, it's a very interesting thing. Second thing.
That's the drama.
That is a drama.
If it was a thriller, it could be more oriented and he's kidnapped
all those things. Now you twist it again.
Romance?
Romance, you can bring anything you can bring. Let us see. You twist it again. They think this fellow is a friend. They put him there. He turns out to be raving mad.
Oh God, it's happening, I think, in the world. Oh God.
Like America, it has happened. Suddenly you are connecting America, it happened. He turns to be raving mad. They don't know what to do with him now. He gives whatever it comes to his mind, like how Kalidas was taken to this thing, no, to Kalidasa's story, you know, no.
When he was taken.
This is another idea. You take some old example and fix it there in the new one.
Yeah, that's an interesting
Now
idea.
Kalidas was a woodcutter.
Correct.
That you know the Kalidas story. I don't know whether you people are familiar
Can you
with
just
it.
sum it up for us? So,
Yeah, there was one princess who was very very knowledgeable about everything. So whoever came, she used to argue with them and she used to defeat them in the debate.
In the debate, okay.
So there was no one to marry, and what happened is a group of pundits, they got so insulted because of her knowledge.
Her knowledge.
So they decided that they will make a fool marry her. So they were searching for the biggest fool in the country. Then they found out that one person is sitting on a tree branch, and he is cutting the same branch. And he falls down. And they understand that this is one of the biggest idiots we have got. That was Kalidas actually.
Okay.
So they take him there to his this thing. So they, they say that this is our guru. He will not talk. So he is in Maunavrit. So you had everything you will have to act through, show through questions. Debate should be
Correct,
through
correct.
the
Through sign language.
Sign language.
Yeah.
So she shows one. That is, it's only Brahman.
Yeah.
It's all
Yeah.
God is one. He shows two. So all these his chelas will say, they say that even though Paramatma is one, there is two forms, Paramatma and Jivatma. So she says, wow. But actually what he thinks is that he is going to poke your eyes, she is going to poke my eyes, so I will poke both the eyes. So like that a series of questions come, everything he shows through sign language. It will take 10 minutes for me to explain that.
And they get married.
So they get married. And then she doesn't know what to do with him because he is a shepherd and he talks nonsense, whatever she says. He's a buffoon. So she throws him out.
Okay.
Then he goes to a temple and he goes and closes the door. The Kali comes. He doesn't open the door. He says, nobody wants me, so I'm going to stay here. He's an idiot. Kali had gone out from the temple.
Correct.
When she comes back, she is not able to get in because he is inside the temple and he has closed the door. So finally, Kali asks, please come out, I have to get in because by the daytime come, please come, she should not see me in this form. She should see only in the form of this deity.
Yeah.
So finally, he takes that, you make me an intelligent person, and so he puts out his tongue because he doesn't trust Kali to come out. So in the tongue, she writes with her trident, she writes, and from there, he gets that poetic. That is one idea of getting story ideas. You can try it.
The point being that from there you pick this up and you.
So you pick a presidential thing like other people have decided it is a farce. So they have decided that the country's biggest idiot will become the president. Not in India, in America we can take. So, so it has actually. You are not able to hear?
You're not able to hear.
Okay. So then you get a farce. Suddenly from this you get a farce, you get a comedy, and there you can play. Now you add a twist to it. You can make a comedy with this presidential fool is there, and presidential bungalow is a haunted place. So you get a comedy thriller, comedy horror also out of it.
It's true. Horrors for the people, you know.
I am not saying this. You can win a Nobel Prize out of what I am telling, but I am telling how the story from here you have to develop. This is only 1% of the writing process.
The point here is this is how you get your ideas.
How to twist whatever you get from the newspaper, from the.
So what I want to ask you is that do I need it? That's you need. No, okay. So my mic is not working, so here I'm going to use the other one. But these are the various places that you can use your ideas from, pick the ideas from, and there is a lot more to writing. Obviously, this is just the basic and the first test to how to start getting the ideas.
Another thing is there are easier way, but I won't advise it. There are sites which gives prompts.
Let's not go into the easier ways. We must do things which are more organic and which is more, if we want to write and which we do, then I'm still having mic problems. Hello?
Then search for quirky news, not only the headline. There will be box newses which are always story worthy. Box newses will be there in the newspaper or in the online magazine. Very, very quaint little stories will be there. This becomes like 3 days back, I had read a news, I had taken a clipping and other things. It's in in Kerala it had happened. It's a small box news. One lady and 2 kids were sleeping at their home. It's a thatched, means tiled roof home. And road is there, it's near the forest, road is there. The house is, the roof comes to the road level.
Okay.
Night time some elephant herd had passed and one baby elephant had crashed into the home when they are sleeping. That's what I'm telling, it's a quirky news, no?
Yeah.
Wife and 2 kids are sleeping, suddenly a baby elephant comes and falls on the cot from the roof. Now what happens? The elephant herd will not leave unless
you get the baby elephant.
You get the baby elephant out.
Now how do you get the
How
baby
do you get the baby elephant out? And this lady is screaming, kids are screaming, elephant is
screaming.
screaming inside from top. Other elephants are trying to come in.
Yeah.
So finally people came and the elephants waited, but there is no story in that.
Correct.
Now this is a story point. No, this is a story point when suddenly something falls from the literally elephant or is raining elephants there.
Yeah.
So I had taken that clip and kept it.
Okay, so we are going to get a story here. We are going to get a story here, that means.
Maybe, maybe not. But I am telling this kind of news here, you should have the eye for this kind of news. I am not telling you like this. If every day you will get at least 3 or 4.
So what you would suggest is that there are at least 3-4 ideas that you've given us from where you pick out ideas, right? You get the idea, story idea. So I think what would be a great thing to do is, like, from here on, let's start an exercise where we note down quirky ideas, thriller ideas, or whatever, headline, your day-to-day living, anywhere that you're going, from all the concepts that he has said. Let's pick out ideas, start writing them down. Can I say that? If you could say that, you start writing them down, start making a collection of it, see where you can take them, and let's see how many in your day-to-day life you can collect. What will happen is your observational skills will become better, and which is what you said, to be a writer you need to be a great observer. So let's start with that, and this is the first of it, and collect the ideas.
Collect the ideas first, then you should decide which genre you want to, whether you want to make a cranky president or as a thriller, a frightened president, or whether you want a ghost as the president.
But maybe sometimes you try various genres and then you decide, okay, when you start writing and get into the flow of it, that no, this is what I'm more comfortable with.
So you develop the idea. Second thing is, you add more characters. Like, it is easier to do. You take another thing, what you can do is, you take your favorite book, randomly take a chapter from it, rewrite it. It's an exercise I am telling. Rewrite it in a different setting. Like, for example, you take a chapter out of, say, Ajaya. Instead of Duryodhana, you make it as a Mughal empire. Or you take it and make it as a cricket team. It is happening inside the dressing room.
Wow, okay.
So suddenly you get a totally different story there.
Absolutely.
You just take the example of, say, Karna coming during this test. Okay, and Duryodhana standing up for him. You change the setting and make it into a cricket
match, and how some captain has taken a selection committee, captain has taken up, and the problem between the captain and the coach.
So what you are doing, you are taking newspaper headline and you are taking a Mahabharata story, and then you are changing the setting. Nobody is going to know it is a Mahabharata story or whether it is a headline. You are mixing up everything, but you have got a good story out in your hand.
You think we have a couple of ideas now? You think we could take on a few questions from our viewers? Yeah? Can somebody give me the questions? Okay.
Anybody?
I have forgotten that I need glasses to read. Oh. Neetu asks, plagiarism is something that is sometimes inevitable when one is reading so vastly. It is bound to happen unintentionally. I have sometimes come across some reputed writers sounding similar. Do you have anything to say to that?
Reputed writers sounding similar.
Plagiarism.
Could happen. Because what happens, it is a genre, what genre you are writing. Most genres have their own, that is a later day class. They have certain skeletons.
So how do you select which genre you are writing?
Which genre you are writing, that you have to write and see. Write 1 or 2 chapters and see which is coming out better.
Okay.
And if you have a scapegoat at home, like my wife is my scapegoat, I keep, if she doesn't,
to her.
I narrate to her, if she doesn't sleep or she doesn't bang my head, I understand it's all right. So,
You know, Vartika Varyani is asking which one is better, formal writing or a casual writing? For writing a novel, what is better?
what is formal writing or casual writing?
Even
don't
I want to know that, Vartika.
You
What
write
is
in your
what?
style. How do you talk? That's the best way to write. You try to use words which you don't use in day-to-day life. It will not connect with the readers.
Absolutely.
There will be some professors and language lovers who will say, wow. But now in this era, if you ask me, the age of lyrical writing is slowly fading away. Why? Because we live in a visual world. When we live in a visual world, people don't have the patience. Earlier, why lyrical writing was so good some years before is because it came from the world of poetry, where you are used to hearing poetry, and then when a novel took form, it started imitating that, and so even the novels had very flamboyant sentences,
Descriptions
and
that way,
other
yeah.
things. Here, it is better to have a visual form of writing. I try to be very visual in my writing. So sometimes it may look like a screenplay, you can imagine it, but my language skills are not that great because my English is very poor. English I learned after a much
It
later.
doesn't sound like that, but yeah.
So it is, language is irrelevant, that's what I am coming to.
So you're
say.
saying is that, you know, just go the way you would speak, try and put it in that way so that it's more
Depending
you.
on what you are writing also, I cannot say, no, Ravan cannot talk like that, no, how you are the hey dude, you can write of course, but it becomes a different kind of book. You can definitely write like that.
It will be a different kind, yes. Any questions here? Can you pass this?
But don't try to use any words which
You're not comfortable using.
normally you don't use it in, it cannot be an exasperating farrago of words.
Wow. And did he just say that?
No, I learned that word only that day when he tweeted. My country cousin had done that, I saw it.
Okay. Apart from observation skills, what are the other skills that are necessary for someone to become a good writer?
See, I am talking about basics here. So first to develop is observation skill. Then there are another 20 or 30 skill set which you will have to acquire.
We have those many master classes happening. Guys, we have got it on record. Those
So
many
I am
master
scared
classes
to
are
talk something here. But one of the first thing, let me tell you, you should have a thick skin.
Okay.
You should be a consummate liar.
You know, this line that you just said, I was going to come to it because the first thing when I asked him is what he had said. To be a storyteller, you need to be a consummate liar, is what he had said. That was his, and I thought that was
You
an
have
amazing thing to say.
practice your lying skills. You
I
need
love
practice
it.
For that. Otherwise, you cannot be a writer. Seriously, you are a very honest person. How are you going to write?
So the next time you said that you're lying a lot, say I'm practicing to be a writer. I have all the right to lie. I have the certificate to be lying.
No, another way of practicing it is try storytelling. Storytelling in the sense that exaggerate things, what happens in your office or in school or college or.
So the next time your husband or your child tells you that I was not lying, I was just telling you a story, you know where it comes from.
Story is an exaggerated reality, no, nothing else. So you have to keep try to tell it as amusing as possible, the story, add things, then other skill sets will come, how to emotionally connect, all those things will come. But why thick skin, I said, because there are going to be, for every person who is telling your book is good or your story is good, there are going to be 99 people out of 100 who are going to tell that this is not as good as we thought. So that is, and you are going to, once you start submitting the stories, you are going to be bombarded with rejection letters.
And how many corrections did you get, or in your books? Sorry, to move away from the writing bit, when you brought this up, I can't let it go.
Rejections, you are asking? 18 rejection I had for Asura.
18 rejections.
Yeah.
And what I want to know is that did people have other ideas of how you should write it?
Plenty. plenty. I was
How many
asked to-
how many ideas did you take, and how much did you stay
No,
to what you had
they
originally
told
done?
that many people told that why don't you write college romance and
Thank God you didn't. Thank God.
So you had 18 rejections for which book?
Asura, my first book.
18 for that.
Yeah.
But that's so beautiful and so perfect.
Who nobody knows. I am in good company. Even J.K. Rowling had more rejections than me. I'm not saying I am equal to her, but I'm telling you on rejection at least I can match with her perhaps.
So did every time after the rejection, did you keep working on it?
Yes, yes. That's another quality or disadvantage of being a writer. You have to go back to your book. And what happens, every time you write a book, you cannot write the book the same way the next time. Now, if I am writing Asura, it will become a different book. Any book for that matter.
Just write the next one. It's okay. We are Asura. We like the way it is. Let's just do another one. But
Any more questions?
So, how much difference is there between the manuscript that you had submitted to your first publisher and the one that got published?
Let me tell you this. My first manuscript, people were scared to touch.
why
Because
are they scared to touch?
because it was Ravana was too powerful in that. I'll put it like that. It could have got it banned. So it is a mild version what you have read, the Asura.
I want that manuscript.
That around 50 copies were printed.
Can we get the limited edition, please? Can we get the signed limited edition, please?
Then even publisher got scared. So it was.
No, you should actually be holding an auction for those 50 because
I don't know
there'll
where
be
they are. I
plenty
have one
people-
copy. I don't know who have it. Maybe somebody seeing it might be having.
You know, if anybody who sees it and has that copy, please let us know. How will we know?
Later it was.
That
now
was
it,
published when? What
modified.
was the year of publication?
2012 itself.
2012 itself?
that would be tagged as the first edition.
First edition.
First edition, yes. Anybody who has first edition of Asura, please get in touch.
So what happens? No, each time the rejection comes, there are going to be rejections. There are going to be rejection, and as I said,
Did you dilute it? Did you feel like you were compromising?
see, every writing is a compromise. What happens is otherwise it becomes unreadable. You are compromising for your readers always. Something which no writer says, but the moment you put your pen into paper, you have started compromising then itself. Because unless you have the reader in mind, you will not be able to write. And if you have reader in mind, then you will start compromising. You have to compromise. So, you
that
are
means if
writing
you
for your
have
reader.
a reader
If
in
I am
mind.
writing for myself, I will write a diary and keep it at my home. No, this is like any other product.
But
This
I
is
love
the
reading
big-
diaries also. They're so interesting.
I had to keep it hidden, I think. No, diaries are interesting provided you are Anne Frank or somebody like that. My diary, how it will be interesting, it will not be. Diaries will be, this is many good that you brought that point. Many people who start writing, they are writing like diary. The books, the first books always sound like diaries.
Ouch.
Why? Because, why? Because they are trying to tell, they think that their story, maybe it is interesting. But
The other thing to do is not write fiction.
no, not like that. What happens is how will you move to the second book after that? You have limited experience only. Anybody for that matter.
Yeah.
Human life is so vast that you cannot have all the experience in your life. Only thing is that you can
Other
imagine.
people's experiences.
You pick you have to be a shameless liar and a shameless stealer. You have to steal ideas from the world. You have to
To
steal.
be a liar, a thief. What else are you going to be? So to be a writer. So every time you want to do all these things, you just say, I just want to be
So
a
that's
writer.
what this is not a profession for good people.
Obviously, you are a good liar.
These are the profession for Ravans and.
No, so you are obviously a good liar.
I am a liar.
How
good
much do you
liar.
steal?
I have stolen everything. See, stealing, there are two ways. You steal somebody's book, you will end up in a problem. You should not steal like that.
Okay.
Every film also, as I said, hardly 3 or 4 stories are there in the world. All are a rehash of these two. Maximum 4 or 5 stories might be there. Even I doubt that. So everything is, you take the setting, like I said, now had I written this story of BCCI selecting one Karna coming there, say somebody from Nagaland where not many people play cricket, somebody from there who comes, like a Karna is a great player, he's the next Tendulkar, but everybody is not taking it, and one guy stands up in the field, who is the bad boy in the present
I don't
team.
mind you reading the story. It sounds lovely already.
Correct, but this is a story now I made it up now, isn't it? Now if I write that, nobody will understand that this is, I had stolen this from Mahabharata.
Yeah.
So how you hide your stealing, that's more
So
important.
we don't say stealing, we say inspiration.
That's a good word. Can be a
It's a
politician.
very good word, inspired by it.
Can be a politician, I think.
So anyway, okay.
How do you differentiate between criticism and constructive criticism?
How do you differentiate between criticism and constructive criticism?
A writer has to be arrogant.
Okay, thick skin, arrogance, lying, stealing.
Because see, whatever a writer has to be, I put it in Asura, where Ravan talks to Mahabali, if you have read that.
Yeah.
Why jealousy is good, why you should have anger, why you should have, all these things are necessary in life. So for a writer, all these things has to be there in an exaggerated format. So what happens is, criticism is always going to hurt. You have to be a hypocrite and show that it doesn't hurt, I love your criticism. But it is going to hurt. How well you are able to hide it, that much successful. Anybody, any criticism, because I think my writing is the greatest in the world. But I should not say that. Now I am saying it because I have become totally shameless. But, but every writer, you have to believe that your writing is the greatest, otherwise you won't write. You cannot write with an inferiority complex. You have to, then it is a show off. That when somebody says it is trash, then you have to go home and think why he said that and try to correct it. That feedback loop always should be there. So every criticism is a constructive criticism. People, how they will say it, that differs. Maybe somebody is telling it because of jealousy also. Maybe somebody wanted to write this and had written half, because there are only so many ideas in the world, stories in the world. So he has written half of it and you already published that. I am very sure a lot of people would have started writing about Ravan and stopped the project somewhere in between, and suddenly this book has come, or about Shiva or whatever.
Very interesting. This is because, that means every criticism is taken as, you should be taking it as constructive.
Every criticism is constructing, but every criticism will hurt. Take it from me, every criticism. If it doesn't hurt, then that means that you are not passionate about your work. You have to be passionate, and once you are passionate about the work, it is going to hurt you.
Yeah. You
When
just have to
somebody
put on the
says that.
face and say, it didn't hurt. I'm taking it as constructive criticism. I want to stab you, but I will take it as constructive criticism.
It's a constructive stabbing.
Yeah. So anyway, I think, the fun part of being with Anand is that how much ever I talk to him, it never feels like it's enough. So I'm glad we are doing 22 masterclasses. That's what he said today, right? So because I love talking to him, and I'm sure all of you do too, and our viewers there, and we have to end it. So today's idea, the basic idea, was how to get the idea for your writing. And let's try out what he has said, and let's please keep giving us the feedback as the month and a half passes. I want to know how many of you are trying. What are you doing about it? Is it helping you? I love feedback. Please give me lots of feedback. And then we will move on to the next step. And
Before that, as I am shameless, please read my books. And this Bahubali prequel is there as a new verse. Older one also you should read. I am writing short stories also in Kindle. It's only available in Kindle. I have written
what
two
was it?
short
The
stories. Shanta, that is Rama's sister. Shanta is a short story. Then Bhumija, about how Sita was born. The short story I am writing only for my creative satisfaction. So it is not you don't expect a thriller or anything out of it.
No, but that would be very interesting. I would love to know what you write for your creative satisfaction. Interesting.
Because it is not going to buy me my next car or anything through short stories. It's just I am writing for the sake of it, because now I can afford to do
How
that.
sweet is that? Just for that, we have to read those short stories.
That is only available in Kindle, but Rise of Shivagami, please read, and second book is coming. Series also is coming.
Okay.
Maybe in one of the digital medium. Rise of Shivagami is going to get made into series. So I am writing the screenplay of it now.
Sir, is the movie part there in the second book? Because this book was a prequel of
No, movie, I will connect it to the movie. But movie already you have seen.
Yeah.
So there is so much only I can
Because
steal
there's
from
a
that.
competition. The best is director and the best is writer writing. and like
No, it is very difficult to match Rajamouli's vision, and I don't have 500 crores. I wish he gives me that. But
You just said you don't need it because you just have to write it, you see. So you don't need it.
I'll have to use my mere words. I'll have to create that world, and I'm not going to go to the story. There will be basic. Ultimately, I have to reach. Destination is that. But before that, I have created 40 characters. What I am going to do with them? They will murder me. So many characters I have created, and so many fascinating characters like.
So there'll be stories coming out of for all those characters.
All those
and that's
characters.
where the series.
That is another class actually. How to create characters.
Yes, but we are going to do it amongst the 22 classes. We are going to do that. We've got him.
thanks for Shivgami because it released before the movie. I read Shivgami. We both read it together. And because of the book, I could see Shivgami in a very different way in the
Different
movie.
light.
How interesting.
So I was only concentrating on her acting than anybody else in the movie. So please give us the strong characters in Bahubali series because we have seen Bahubali as the strongest character, but we really want more of it because we have seen next character was Katappa. But here when you highlighted Shivgami, this was like amazing, and I had seen the first movie again. Then I went for the next movie just for Shivgami.
Great.
So,
And honestly, we need more strong female leads in real life also, but we get the book.
This short story what I am writing is Women of Ramayana, and taking one by one women and writing the short story for that.
Interesting for all of us. The only problem is that it's on Kindle, and what I love is that. So you mean
once
to say
have
I can't
5
come here
stories-
to Granth and get the book?
No, once I reach 5 stories, it will come as a book.
Ah,
I'm not getting
okay.
time. Only 2 has come now. Another 3 I have to write.
So that is another part of it because one loves the e-books and it
It will come as
gives
book.
you the
That's
thing.
what
But
Westland had promised. I hope she is listening.
yeah, but more than anything else, guys, this masterclass today has happened thanks to Granth, one of my favorite bookstores, which is quaint, cozy, intimate.
This is really cozy.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, Anand had never seen this bookstore
Yeah.
and it's been a surprise to him.
I live at the other side of the world. I am in Navi Mumbai.
But there are very few of these
So
bookstores left.
nobody considers Navi Mumbai as Mumbai. That's a problem. The moment I come to any studios here for writing, where do you live? I said, Navi Mumbai. So why are you living so far? As if it is in South Pole or something.
No, but what I want to say is that very few of these bookstores left, and Granth is doing such a fabulous job,
Great job,
of it. And this is somewhere,
I wish they start a branch in Navi Mumbai.
No, please come here. We would love it. Come here. Let's have coffee
We are
together.
trying to form a book club
They
there.
have the most beautiful coffee place here. So let's come here, have coffees together, discuss books.
Definitely
What
we'll
more
do
can you
that.
ask for?
So next time I can invite you there if they start a Granth there.
Till then, we should keep coming here. So thank you, Granth. Thank you
Thank
for the
you,
place.
thank you
Thank
for
you for
watching.
being here next to my house. I love it. And please
is
come
so
here more
selfish.
often. I love it. No, but it is because there are other bookstores also, but I
I
like
know,
this because it's personal. It's got the touch. It's got the old world charm.
Great bookshop.
And in today's world, it's difficult to keep this kind of a quality of bookstore going, and I really appreciate it. So thank you, Granth. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, all of you.